Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the E-100 here on Kursk. And this will be a very nice battle indeed. I just want to let you know that this is a battle from the last patch, but it was very nice and I wanted to keep it for a particular reason. Now, the environment for the E-100 has not really changed, and yeah, Kursk is one of those maps that the E-100, when it is top tier, can really shine. And this is again a video about the value of armor. Practically this is an advertisement for the mouse as well, but also showing one of the decisive differences between the E-100 and the mouse, and that is the top speed. At the moment you really don't feel it. Going a little bit uphill here on Kursk with 13 kilometers an hour, 12, 14, 15, yeah, so not really that much different from the mouse. The mouse has a top speed of around about 20 kilometers an hour. The 100 has a little bit more. A little bit. And there we see on the riverside in the north that there is the only capture zone. And I think to myself, well, this is my chance. This is my chance to shine. Let the race for the base begin. And here we go, 24, 25. It's not really that much faster up until this point. And yeah, I type it in the chat. I'm going in. This is just all or nothing. If we can do it, this is the question now. Breaching 30 kilometers an hour. That is certainly not slow. And 33. We still accelerate. Now the problem is here, I'm giving my flank to the entire enemy team. However, there are two things that work in my advance. The distance, where the enemy just simply has difficulties hitting me, especially with this unexpected speed of 40 kilometers an hour, and also a lot of bushes, together with my armor. The side armor of the turret is very thick, and the side skirts also provide me with a lot of protection. Now, I knew that I was top tier according to the spawn points. If you take up for your heavy tank spawn all of the 450 spawn points, yeah, that tells you a lot. And we're still going with 39 kilometers an hour. But I don't want to get directly into the capture zone. I want to go a little bit sideways and then drive in with my armor angled, and that means I need to go on a rather parallel course. That seems absurd at first, but we will see how it pays off. By the way, that was the first time I got on Kursk with the E-100 in this situation, and sadly since then it never happened again. Now I'm observing the enemy and I see a lot of targets, and there I see two British tanks, and I know that the one in the behind is the dangerous one, the Stritzwagen 81 with the 600mm ATGMs. They are dangerous, and there the shots come in and I have my first bounces, but I just angle the armor towards the enemy a little bit. It's actually more than 45 degrees, another bounce, and I'm in the cap circle, completely uncontested. And behind me on the ridgeline are some very big German tank destroyers, something like a Jagdtiger. That was a terrible shot on this T-54. I angle my armor again, and did you see the bounce from the side? That was some tank I did not notice. That was a heavy hit, and I absorbed it with no problem at all. The hull is very strong indeed, and I see that there is somebody in the houses. Normally that is a very problematic situation. I tried to shoot him and 3 fast shots were on my turret, but just one went through, and that was an APDS round. There is the heat bounce, or rather the heat not going through. 210 millimeters from this M46. Do not go through the side of the 100. And another heat shell does not go through. I tried to trick him out into the open with just firing my secondary 75mm coaxial gun. Yes, a 75mm coaxial gun. I love it. And there, I actually went a little bit out of the capture zone, but at the end of the day, I'm the big distraction. And look at this, where the rest of my team is. They are far, far away. Oh, this is actually awesome. I pinged the map for my team, but at the moment, I really don't know what they could do. Maybe somebody goes into the plane, and there we see another British tank, but sadly I don't one-shot him. I hit too much in the rear, a bit disappointing to be honest, and I angle my armor while I'm reloading, and I'm also observing the houses on the right hand side. So, and then I get tracked. Normally this is not very good, but I'm perfectly angled, so yeah, it's fine. Now I could replenish one of my crew members, but I don't have to at the moment. And now I'm adjusting my aim. Beautiful. That was a T-54 49 or 51. And both I don't mind. I just mind the 47 because I can't reliably kill the 47. The 49 and the 51 have thinner frontal plating with just 60 degrees of angling with 100mm of plating that you can penetrate, like the side armor of the Centurion Mark 10. Back in the day of this patch, the Centurion still had its 150mm hash round, and the E-100 together with the Maus were one of the few vehicles that were completely hash safe. Now the IS-4 were added kind of to that selection of vehicles. It was an indirect buff to the IS-4, but back to the 100. Countless bounces later, I'm enjoying it. I have to say, I really, really enjoy it. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I love the engine sound of the 100. Now my main gun got damaged, I repair it, another heat shell into the side of my turret, and it doesn't penetrate again. Oh my. A lot of stress, a lot of enjoyment for the tank, and I execute this tank here. Nice. I just love playing the tank. I just love it. And those were the 4 kills. And as you can see, that is a bit of a problematic situation. Bouncing an artillery shell because reasons. So now my chances and my options are limited. Why? Because there is somebody to the right. Now, normally this would be a problem. Again, I'm in the E-100, and again, this is just an M46. I'm observing here the ridgeline, and I was not quite sure what that was. Was adjusting the aim carefully. And after observing it multiple times and actually also noticing that the shell went right through the targets, yeah, it must have been already destroyed. I'm looking around, but there are simply no enemy targets around here. There's just nothing left. And at this moment I was a bit frustrated because I wanted more bounces, you know. It sounds weird, but look at the points. Look at what I've done for my team. I went into the capture zone. I was on the front line. I bounced the shots. I tanked for my team. Now, there is a playstyle towards certain tanks, and I want to preserve my tanks, all my tanks. I try to survive as long as possible, to do as much damage to the enemy team as possible, to have a impact as heavy as I can have on the outcome of the game. And now I'm actually trying to hunt this M46. However, the one thing that I have to point out is, at this moment, what could I have done? There was not much to do except hunting this M46. There was just nothing to do. And that is a bit of a, yeah, strange situation. Now the initial part was very exciting. And now I cracked the house. I tried to aim, but that was a direct hit on a cannon barrel. Yeah, also hitting the gun breech. And the Jagdtiger behind me actually sniped through. That was some kind of really nice teamwork, but at that point, yeah, I had it under control. But nevertheless, now the situation is clear and now I can advance directly towards the enemy spawn point. I type it here in chat. It's in German. Maschinist, etwas mehr Kohle bitte. That's a reference to the rather slow speed of the E-100 when it goes uphill, as we'll see in a moment. I'm still observing the ridgeline, but there's just simply nothing to do. Now I cut here out 2 minutes of just dull driving around, but then there was this scene. Yeah, Russian planes. But nevertheless, it was an awesome battle, I had fun, and it just showed the great value of armor even at higher tiers when you are not completely in a full up tier. So, quick look at the post-battle results for 4 kills and 1 assist and 1 captured base. I got 32,000 silver lions and 7,773 modification research points. I have a talisman on the E-100, but no further boosters being applied. And yeah, being first with 2,400 score points is quite a result. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed the cinematic intro. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that, and if you want to see more of that. Yeah, and finally, that's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if it did, it helps out the channel greatly. Subscribe if you want to see more, and we will see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.